So, getting cold again in SoCal. Okay, so episode 5 of Kiramagers. Yeah, not really much to note in terms of references or major events or plot point developments or anything like that. It's just it's still kind of part of the introductory arc where actually there are a few things out in the episode. So it was Yellow's turn to shine, literally, and we get to see him as the leader of his esports team, why he even got to esports, and we actually get a little glimpse of how he views his relationship with his machine, or as he calls them, I think he says like shovel G, so it's like shovel old man, basically. So in that sense, I was actually somewhat right in interpreting their relationship just by how he sounded. I said he kind of sounds like that crazy uncle that you love, and it's kind of funny because on Shovel Yellow, on his machine, if you look at the headlights, one's like round and one's like flat, kind of like an old man, I guess, kind of like that. So that was a nice design touch. Oh, and how Tatemono or Tametomo or Yellow, how Yellow views his relationship with his machine is actually kind of touching, because it actually reminds him of his late grandfather, who is the reason why he got into video games and why he's softer on his machine, because basically the machine really wants Yellow to be the leader because, well, for one thing, he's actually a really good leader, given that he's the leader of an esports team, and at the end of the episode it's revealed that that's still kind of what he wants. So then Yellow tries to like undermine Red and show that he's not fit, or actually he tries to start his own team, because we actually get introduced to 3 more machines in this episode. But yeah, Yellow being the having a soft spot for his machine, they do this thing where they try to show that Red is a capable enough leader and that he can really shine. And like I said, at the end of the episode, it's revealed that Yellow still kind of wants to be the leader. So we'll see how that changes later on in the season, if it comes to a T, or if they'll actually give him the leadership position. It's not uncommon to see this. I mean, Red is just kind of like the standard, but they either always have a second in command or someone who demonstrates leadership in a different way. In the case of Yellow, he's a real tactician. He can come up with all strategies and everything, and we actually see how he uses that in this week's Monster of the Week. We actually see how he uses his video game skills, not just as a tactician, but as an actual player when dealing with this week's Monster of the Week. Yeah, quick note about the 3 machines we got introduced to. I knew they were coming at some point. I didn't know they were going to come this early, and I didn't know they were going to use all of them in the same episode. Because usually it's like, they find one, then it's that episode, they get used that episode, and then they find the next one in the next episode, and so on and so forth. This one, they find all 3 and they use all 3. And they're not even major components, they're attachments. instead of replacing the entire arm or limb, for instance, they are just weapons. So one becomes a hammer, one becomes a fork, which you kind of think of it as a sword or a rapier because it's more, stabby. And then one becomes a shield. So the three machines that got introduced were like a steamroller, a carrier, and not like a naval aircraft carrier like we usually see, I've seen them at fish markets, like a fish market carrier, and their forklift, which I have to say I don't think they actually ever adapted in Super Sentai, so I guess it was only a matter of time. Oh man, reminds me of Halo Reach, where you could drive a forklift just cause. It's fun to see how they expanded the group a little bit, so I'm kind of interested to see how the dynamic grows with these three new machines. I'm not really sure. There wasn't really a lot of time to get an idea of their personalities. I think from the little that I saw, they could very well be like triplets. Not because like they're finishing each other's sentences, but they all like sound the same even though they look different because they're all used the same way. So, we'll see how that turns out later down the line. But yeah, as far as I know, I couldn't spot any references, but I only watched it once, so we'll see if I see anything again or if someone points something out. Yeah, I guess that's it. So, until the next one.